Illinois Democrats have ended the year's first half with slightly more cash than the GOP. Russell Lissau writes for the Daily Herald, and they ended the first half of 2023 in slightly better financial shape than their Republican counterparts, this according to the records, which Russell went through, so we didn't have to. Russell, welcome back to Double D. Is it a surprise that the GOP is that close, that they're that competitive?
You know, I was surprised that the totals were as close as they are. There are quarterly reports that political parties have to file with the state board of elections. There are monthly reports that they have to file as candidates do with the Federal Election Commission. The numbers were closer than I expected them to be. Why
do they have to differentiate with the numbers as opposed to what they're going to use for federal use and what is for other purposes?
You know, I'm going to have to guess on that. The disclosure laws, the transparency laws, are at the federal level and for the state are very strict. And I think that's good for the people of Illinois. I would assume that the FEC wants to know what money is being set aside for federal candidates, for federal causes. And at the state level, the State Board of Elections would want people to know, and they want to know, what money is being set aside for your local races, your county races, and your state and statewide races.
I assume that that's fungible, though. They can move those from category to category, right pocket to left pocket, whenever they want.
Yes, and as a matter of fact, that makes tracking this money a little bit difficult.
Yeah.
Okay. There were donations. There was money moved from the state party. I'm sorry, not the state party. From the state party's funds for state races to the federal races for both the Democrats and Republicans.
Got it. Russell Lissau here, political reporter for the Daily Herald. Let's start with the Democrats. There's a number of people listed here, organizations. Who caught your eye, Russell?
Well, of course, the governor did. The Democratic Party in Illinois benefits from having a billionaire governor, and far and away the largest donor in this quarter was J.B. Pritzker, who donated $500,000, or at least his campaign committee donated $500,000 to the Democratic Party of Illinois. And of course, he essentially self-funds his campaign committee. The other donors that caught my eye included a political action committee representing Abbott Laboratories employees, which donated $2,000. There was also $250 from Chicago crime novelist Sarah Paretsky. That jumped out at me. I like Sarah's work quite a bit, and when I saw that name, I knew I wanted to mention it in the story.
And the Salvies, of course, they cover both sides of the world, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Not all the Salvies agree politically. There was a $10,000 donation to the Democrats from the Salvie, Shostak, and Pritchard law firm, which was founded and is still led by Patrick A. Salvie, the brother of former Republican State Rep Al Salvie, and the brother-in-law of recent Republican Senate nominee Kathy Salvie.
Right. Now let's move over to the red side of the world. Who stuck out on this list, the donations the party received?
Chairman Don Tracy. Just as the governor is the primary donor on the Democratic side, Don Tracy and his wife Wanda were far and away the most generous donors to the GOP over the last quarter. Don and Wanda personally donated a total of $43,000 to the GOP. The Tracy's Dot Transportation and Dot Foods, two companies that the Tracy family owns, donated $48,000. And those were far and away the largest donations from local folks. There was also $199,089 from a federal Republican political action committee called Protect the House. They donated pretty heavily, and $22,000 from Lake Forest resident and well-known conservative donor Elizabeth Uline, the co-founder of the Uline Shipping Supply Company.
And then I see Jeannie Ives in here, and also Kathy Salvie. gave from her personal account to the Republicans. So is this a battle between Don Tracy and Pritzker? Do they reference each other?
You know, I think anybody who tries to go up against Governor Pritzker when it comes to finances in Illinois is going to lose. He's got the money that he can spend as much as he wants whenever he wants under Illinois law. There is no cap on political donations in Illinois. There is at the federal level, but not at the state level. So he can pump as much as he wants into any race or to any organization.
And finally, Russell Lissau, the Daily Herald. How was the comic book convention in Lockport over this weekend?
Thank you for asking. I was a guest at the Comicopolis convention that the White Oak Library puts on every summer, and it was spectacular. It was a great way to spend Saturday. I was able to meet a lot of fans, sell the books and the art that I create, and there were thousands of people through the door at the library there. It was terrific. Where can we see your artwork? What website? Well, my online store for the comic book part of my life is russell-lissau.square.site. And you can find my comics and my artwork there. Russell, thanks so much for your contribution again. We appreciate it. Have a great afternoon.